In 1692, a small village in Massachusetts became the epicenter of a witch hunt that would claim the lives of 20 people and leave a lasting scar on the American psyche. What caused this outbreak of hysteria and paranoia? How did the trials unfold and who were the victims? And what were the consequences and legacy of this dark chapter in American history? Let's find out. The Salem witch trials began in the winter of 1692 when a group of young girls in Salem Village, a farming community about 10 miles from the more prosperous Salem town, started to exhibit strange and alarming symptoms. They suffered from fits, convulsions, hallucinations, and uncontrollable outbursts of screaming. They claimed that they were being tormented by invisible forces and that they could see the shapes of their tormentors. They accused several local women of bewitching them, and soon the accusations spread to other villagers, both men and women, young and old, rich and poor. Some of the accused confessed to being witches and implicated others in a vast conspiracy of Satan. Others denied any involvement with witchcraft and maintained their innocence until the end. The authorities in Salem Village, led by the Reverend Samuel Parris, the minister of the village church and the father and uncle of 2 of the afflicted girls, took the accusations seriously and launched a series of investigations and trials to root out the evil in their midst. They were aided by a special court of oyer and terminer, which means to hear and determine, appointed by the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, William Phips. The court consisted of 7 judges who were mostly influential and wealthy men from Salem town and Boston. The court relied heavily on the testimony of the accusers, who were considered to be the afflicted and the victims of witchcraft. The court also accepted various forms of evidence that would not be admissible today, such as spectral evidence, which was the claim that the accused appeared to the accusers in visions or dreams and inflicted harm on them. The court also allowed the use of touch tests, which involved having the accused touch the accusers and observing whether their symptoms would stop or worsen. The court also admitted confessions, which were often obtained under duress or coercion and sometimes recanted later. The first person to be tried and executed for witchcraft was Bridget Bishop, a middle-aged woman who ran a tavern and was known for her flamboyant dress and outspoken manner. She was hanged on June 10, 1692, on a hill near Salem Village, which became known as Gallows Hill. Over the next 4 months, 18 more people followed her to the gallows, including a minister, a former town constable, a farmer, a tavern keeper, a beggar, and several housewives. One man, Giles Corey, refused to plead guilty or not guilty and was pressed to death with heavy stones, a brutal form of torture that was meant to extract a plea. His last words were reportedly, "More weight." 2 dogs were also killed after being accused of being familiars of witches. In total, more than 200 people were accused of witchcraft, and about 150 were imprisoned, some of whom died in jail. The Salem witch trials came to an end in October 1692, when Governor Phips dissolved the court of oyer and terminer and ordered that no more arrests or executions be carried out for witchcraft. He was influenced by several factors, such as the protests of some ministers and citizens who questioned the validity and fairness of the trials, the intervention of his wife, who was also accused of witchcraft, and the advice of Increase Mather, a prominent Puritan leader and the president of Harvard College, who wrote a pamphlet titled Cases of Conscience Concerning Evil Spirits, in which he argued that it were better that 10 suspected witches should escape than that 1 innocent person should be condemned. Phips also established a new court, the Superior Court of Judicature, which required more stringent evidence and did not accept spectral evidence. The new court acquitted most of the remaining accused and pardoned those who had been convicted but not executed. The last of the accused were released from prison in May 1693. The aftermath of the Salem witch trials was devastating for the community and the colony. The trials had caused a rift between Salem Village and Salem Town and among families and neighbors. The trials had also damaged the reputation and authority of the Puritan Church and the colonial government, and exposed the fragility and vulnerability of the social order. The trials had also traumatized the survivors and the families of the victims, who had to cope with the loss, the stigma, and the financial hardship. Some of the accusers and the judges later expressed regret and remorse for their role in the trials and sought forgiveness from God and the public. In 1697, a day of fasting and repentance was observed in the colony, and Samuel Sewall, one of the judges, publicly confessed his guilt and asked for pardon. In 1702, the General Court of Massachusetts declared the trials to be unlawful, and in 1711 it passed a bill that cleared the names of the accused, granted compensation to their heirs, and restored their civil rights. In 1957, the state of Massachusetts formally apologized for the trials, and in 1992, on the 300th anniversary of the trials, a memorial was dedicated in Salem to honor the victims. The Salem witch trials have left a lasting impact on the American culture and history. The trials have been the subject of numerous books, plays, movies, and documentaries, such as The Crucible by Arthur Miller, which used the trials as an allegory for the McCarthy era. The trials have also inspired various theories and explanations ranging from psychological, sociological, economic, political, to environmental and biological. Some of the theories suggest that the accusers were suffering from hysteria, epilepsy, ergot poisoning, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Some of the theories propose that the trials were influenced by the tensions between the Puritans and the Native Americans, the rivalry between Salem Village and Salem Town, the gender dynamics and the patriarchal system, the religious fervor and the fear of the devil, or the climate change and the cold weather. The trials have also become a symbol and a lesson for the dangers of intolerance, injustice, and mass hysteria, and a reminder of the importance of due process, civil liberties, and human rights. The trials have also raised questions about the nature and the definition of witchcraft, and the role and the power of religion and superstition in society. Thank you for watching this episode of History Uncovered. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on fascinating and intriguing topics. And don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about the Salem witch trials. What do you think caused them? How do you think they could have been prevented? And what do you think we can learn from them today?